All right, let's dive straight into the explosive conclusion of the battle for Apfeldern from Chapter 16 of Echoes of the Blood Harvest. Just when you think it's all over, it's really just getting started.
And with that one sentence, everything changes. Imagine the scene. The heroes are exhausted, the town is in ruins, but they think they've won. And then this happens. Suddenly, it's not just a fight for survival anymore. It's a fight against the impossible.
So, the dead are rising, right? Scary enough. But the real terror here is how they're rising. This isn't your run-of-the-mill zombie problem. For the defenders of Apeldoorn, this is a whole new kind of nightmare they are absolutely not prepared for. It all comes down to this absolutely terrifying bit of magic called the necrotic siphon. Here's the deal. Every time one of the heroes manages to destroy one of these reanimated monsters, all that energy, that life force, doesn't just disappear. Nope, it flows right back to the gnoll who cast the spell, healing him. It's a horrifyingly brilliant feedback loop. This puts the heroes in a terrible, vicious cycle. They're basically trapped. The more they fight the minions, the stronger the main boss gets. So what do? How do you possibly win a fight where every victory actually makes you weaker? Well, it turns out the answer isn't about fighting harder. It's about fighting smarter. And that's where our heroes come in. They realize they can't just keep hacking away at these undead puppets. They have to break the cycle. And that's going to take some serious coordination, a little bit of inspiration, and a whole lot of focused power. First up, Talinor the Ranger. He totally gets it. Instead of getting swamped in the town square, he scrambles up to the rooftops, taking the high ground. From there, he handles a zombie up close, and in the very next moment, fires an arrow that lands a direct hit on the necromancer. That's the first real crack in the enemy's plan. Stop focusing on the puppets and go for the puppet master. And then you have Thane, the bard. Talk about a comeback. He gets knocked down, and for a second, it looks like he's out. But with a little help and a literal piece of enchanted candy, he gets back up with this incredible surge of strength and just obliterates one of the zombie gnolls. And the sound of that victory, that's what makes the townspeople cheer for the first time. It's a huge morale boost, a sign that this thing is actually winnable. And that little bit of hope is all they needed to launch the final push. With the necromancer reeling from Talinor's arrow and the defenders newly inspired, the samurai, Okazaki and Roberto, charge in. They just unleash everything they've got, not giving the necromancer a single second to breathe. And then, from the rooftops, Calypso the wizard calls down a massive bolt of lightning for the final, decisive blow. Boom. Perfect teamwork. And just like that, it's over. The necromancer falls, the reanimated dead crumble to dust, and the chaos just stops. The whole tone shifts. As the smoke clears, all that's left is the raw, powerful emotion of having survived the absolute worst. 27. That's the number of survivors. And you know, it's not a huge triumphant number, and that's the point. It just hammers home how incredibly close they came to being completely wiped out. Every single one of those 27 people is a testament to the fight they just endured. And after all that horror, something amazing happens. The fires die down, and that night, the air isn't filled with screams of terror, but with music. Life is coming back to Apfeldern. The community is reclaiming its home from all that death and destruction. And right in the middle of this celebration, we get this beautiful, quiet moment. Sane, the bard who helped turn the tide, is given the lute of a hero who had fallen long ago. It's this incredible passing of the torch, a symbol that, even when you win, you don't forget the fallen. Their legacy lives on. But here's the thing. The story doesn't end with a party. Winning the battle was just one part of it. Now, the heroes have to figure out where this all came from. And this is where the story pivots from a desperate fight for survival into a really chilling investigation. So fast forward about 2 weeks, the party's over, and the heroes are on a new mission. Find the source of the attack. They track the gnolls to a cave system nearby, and what they discover there, it completely changes their understanding of what just happened to Apfeldern. See? They were expecting to find some messy, primitive monster den. Bones everywhere, smelly, disorganized. What they actually find is a military staging ground. It's organized. It's well supplied. This was no random raid. This was a planned operation. And the evidence is just undeniable. We're talking crates full of weapons, armor, tools of war. But here's the real shocker.
All of these supplies are marked with the sigil of the Crystal Archive. Now, why on earth would an organization that's supposed to be an ally be supplying a Null war party?
And then they find the smoking gun. No question about it. Hidden in a crate are 7, count 'em, 7 fresh bloodstones. How many Nulls did the necromancer reanimate in the town square? That's right, 7. This is a direct, undeniable link. The magic used in the attack came from this cave and these supplies. But it gets even weirder. Deeper in the cave, they find a strange, humming rift, like some kind of portal. They also find sacks filled with almost 10,000 gold pieces, and a note with a cracked wax seal.
And that seal isn't from the Crystal Archive. It's a symbol they've never seen before. The sigil of the hand. A whole new player just stepped onto the board. And it looks like they're the ones who are really pulling the strings all along.
So, when you put all the pieces together, the conclusion is, honestly, it's terrifying. The Nulls weren't the real villains here. They were just a weapon. They were mercenaries, hired and equipped by some shadowy group to attack Apfeldern for a very specific reason. This last line from the chapter just says it all, doesn't it? Apfeldern survived this one attack, this harvest. But the greater threat, the force that planned the whole thing, is still out there. This was just one battle in a much bigger, much scarier war. And that's the question we're left with. This whole thing wasn't just a monster attack. It was a conspiracy. So the real mystery, the one that changes everything, is just getting started. Who is the hand? And what do they really want?